Oh yeah! I'm so excited to talk about this movie. I'm so excited to talk about this movie. Been waiting for this movie to come out for so long, and it's finally coming out, and I got to see it, and we're gonna talk about it right now. So here we go. It's Dr. Sleep, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited. You're gonna know when this starts that me personally, as a viewer, I have a particular bias when it comes to things that interest me. And ever since I was a kid, I watched the tar out of Stephen King movies. My first book that I ever read when I was a kid at 4 years old was Cujo. Pretty big book with a lot of really messed up things for a 4-year-old to read, but I nailed that book when I was a kid. And I thought, how cool would it be if this was a movie? And then my mom introduced me to Stephen King films. And ever since then, I've been probably one of the hugest, if not super fanboy, geek out fans of this man and his writing ability. And sure enough, leave it for him 20, 30 years later to come up with a sequel to a book and a movie that was just absolutely phenomenal. Now, Dr. Sleep is an immediate sequel to the canon story in the movie. I don't think it has to do with the ending in the book because the book and the movie are two completely different entities. And an example that I will explain right now. In the book version of the story, there is a garden of possessed gigantic bush animals, like, giraffes and rhinos and hippos and stuff, and they're alive, and they come alive and they terrorize everybody, and it's just this awful thing. In the movie version with Jack Nicholson, it is a giant maze. And there's little comparisons like that, or like the fact that, and this is a spoiler, oh my god, spoiler warning in case you've never seen this movie or read the book, Jack Torrance dies in the movie. In the book, he lives long enough to blow up the hotel. The hotel does not blow up in the movie, but the kid and the wife get out. The kid and the wife get out with the help of Scatman Yothers, who doesn't necessarily make it in the movie, but lives in the book. Now, from that point forward, I'm going to talk about the sequel. The sequel was really awesome to me because it followed almost beautifully the horrific story of the aftermath that is Danny Torrance's life. Now, Dan Torrance, he grew up scarred emotionally and psychologically from this. He has drug and alcohol problems. He not exactly the best person either. He's kind of a snot, and he goes through sort of a redevelopment. He gets clean. He has hid his shine by using alcohol and other substances, and has kind of pushed away that aspect of his life. And it only when you're introduced to a character that Rebecca Ferguson played called Rose the Hat, who is part of a ancient immortal group of people who eat people like Danny Torrance, people that have the shine is what they called it in the books. Danny as an adult has learned to lock away a lot of the ghosts that now no longer have people to hunt since the hotel has been shut down. They have turned to hunting him down in his private life. There's a scene in the movie where he's a child, and oh, by the way, the actors that played Jack Torrance and Wendy Torrance and Danny Torrance were just amazing. I mean, they did everything they possibly could to recreate the character that Shelley Duvall and Jack Nicholson created when they made The Shining, and I mean to a T. Even the accent and the vocalizations of how they speak are just almost identical. I mean, they don't look the same, granted, but there's just little nuances that they gave to the characters to really bring them through and make them authentic and believable as the people that they're referencing to. Because there's a flashback involving Danny as a kid where he learns how to take care of the ghosts, and long story short, he grows up, and after he has shut all of this stuff out, slowly starts to realize that he can connect with another little girl who's played by Kylie Karen. Her name is Abra in the movie, and she has the shine as well. She can see, read minds, and she can move things with her mind. There's a whole scene at a birthday party where she's really excited about a magic trick, and she kind of scares her parents. They're not used to the idea of their little girl being different, but she gets attacked by these people who, by the way, if you're not a fan of horror movies, don't watch this movie because they really facilitate the ideology of a horror movie. Okay, there's some vicious death in this movie, and if you're not prepared for it, don't watch it. Okay, because these people hunt down children that have the shine and eat them like vampires or something that's they eat their essence. So Rose the Hat, who runs the organization, she finds out about Abra when Abra has a psychic premonition about them killing a kiddo. And from there, it just leads through like a cat and mouse chase between Abra and Rose as they try to hunt each other down because Rose wants to take her out and Abra's trying to get justice for all of the kids that have been murdered. And it takes her getting a hold of Danny, who they've been communicating through a chalkboard, to come together and formulate a plan to get these people and get revenge for all the kiddos that have been killed. Now, I can't stress this enough. This movie was absolutely phenomenal to watch. It builds up really slow. It gives you a lot of connection between all of the characters. And then right at the last minute, right when you're thinking that they can have like a subtle solution and end the movie peacefully, it just blows up in your face and you have no other opportunity but to just, or no other option, words, to sit there but just watch it all unfold. And there's some tragic things that happen in this movie, but there's also some really awesome things, like the way this little girl gets revenge. She is so clever. The actress that plays her, oh my god, Kylie Curran is just phenomenal. And I can't express enough, if you haven't had the chance to watch this movie, I strongly suggest you watch this movie. Seeing as how it's the one that wraps up our October Spoopy movie event, I am so glad I watched this one last, because I just got so much more enjoyment out of like this one than all of the other ones, because I had something to gripe about with every single movie I watched. But I can't come away with this one with one negative thought. It was just such a good movie. And I strongly suggest that anyone out there watching this watches that movie. Whew, that was a lot of words in under 7 minutes, am I right? I'm glad you guys stayed tuned to everything that I had to say about this movie, and thank you so much for tuning in all October long to watch our little Spoop Fest. We've got some really awesome stuff coming in October. Can't really tell you about now, it's super secret. But if you want to stick around and see what we have in store for you content-wise, do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe, because I love making this content for you guys. And if you have a movie that you want me to watch or a game you want me to play, jot it down in the comments down below, because I love reading them. Other than that, I have nothing else to say to you guys except Happy Halloween, and I have been Nobody. I love your face, and I'll see you next time.